Hey, what up guys? This is Martin here from Ip Kodiak. Today, I want to talk about something that I haven't really talked about too much in the past, and it's that when you're attractive or when you're handsome, you will be alone for the most part. Straight up. And this is rarely, if ever, talked about on the internet. Nobody talks about this. It's one of the big, major disadvantages of being a good-looking person. Because you hear all about the good things on the internet, about being attractive, you know? And whether you're a man or a woman who's watching this, it doesn't matter. Because I think at the end of the day, we're not that much different from each other, and we face similar problems, okay? No matter what kind of gender you are. And so, because we all hear about the privileges of being attractive, you know, you get more attention from people, you get this and that, and attractive people get treated a lot better, we have an easier life, okay? Yada yada. But people never talk about this one big, huge flaw of being attractive, and it's that you will be lonely and alone in so many ways. And I always used to ponder with this thought, like, why is that the case? Because I know so many handsome guys, and I know a lot of very beautiful chicks, and it looks like on the outside that everything is perfect on for their lives, you know? They're good looking, they have a good career, a good job, some of them have a business, and, you know, they have great personalities, very kind people, very loyal, they're not liars, they're not, you know, manipulative or what have you, but they can't really seem to be in a relationship. They tend to be single, for most of them are single, or I find it tends to go actually both ways. It either goes through they found a partner early on, you know, in middle school, high school, and they've been with each other for many, many years. Or B, they've developed themselves and gone to a point where they're a lot more successful. They're a lot more successful on societal terms, right? And they still struggle with it. With finding friends, with finding quality people around them, with finding committed partners. And this isn't really taught about too much. It's a rare struggle. It is a struggle. And I've certainly dealt with it on my own. And with not just with loneliness, but with the fact that people can't really relate to you in so many ways. Because you can be the best person in the world. You can have the best heart. You can be very giving, very, what's the word I'm looking for? You can be very positive, enthusiastic. You can be very caring. But people will treat it as you're being inauthentic. Why is that the case? Why? I had so many situations in life when I was like trying to be a good person, and I had no harmful or bad intentions behind it, but people perceived it as being shallow from my side, or I was just being fake nice just to get something from them. Why is that the case? Have you guys ever experienced this? I can certainly see it with a lot of guys. Because I think especially handsome men or attractive guys, you know, I know, you know, beautiful women get hated on. I know that. I've seen it so many times. Like, less attractive women or ugly-ass chicks or, like, you know, normal-looking chicks will hate on beautiful women. It's very normal. And it's the same thing with less attractive men. Men will also hate on other, you know, top men. It's a legitimate thing. Especially if you have leveled up. You've probably experienced this. But us men, we face a little bit of a different situation because we are not only hated by men, but also women, because they know that we have the ability and the capacity to get other chicks. So it's a fear element, I think, that they know they can't really like settle down with us. And I think Andrew Tate said something brilliant about this. Shout out to you, Andrew. I know some of you guys don't like him. But he said something this one time in one interview. He said that, you know, women, especially today, they want a guy who is going to be reliable like a Toyota, but they want a Ferrari level type of man. You know, they want to have the Ferrari, a guy who's really good looking, who's hot, handsome, who has his shit together, who makes a lot of money, who's this and that, you know, who's confident, who's an alpha male, quote unquote. But they know deep down that guy would never settle down with them. So instead, a lot of like girls especially settle down for like the nice guy, you know, the Toyota type of guy. Because it's reliable, it's it operates the way you want it to, and it's expected basically. And so, is it because of that? I don't know. But I've certainly had so many situations in my own life when I was trying to be nice, especially with women. I don't know. I found it to be true with like less attractive chicks. I would say from like basic looking chicks. Like let's say from a scale of 1 to 10, let's just say a 5, 6, or 7, because these are that's like the medium. Like I would consider a beautiful woman to be at least an 8, from 8 to 10 minimum. And so I found I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be really giving and flirty, and I was genuinely interested in the girl. But she thought that I was just gonna use her, and that was never my intent. That was never what I wanted to happen. I really cared for that other person, but somehow people's perceptions of you, and people's thoughts and opinions and their judgments of who you should be when you're attractive is so fucking flawed. And the funny thing is, I actually made a video about this a week ago where I talked about the downsides of being attractive, is that when you don't operate in their preconceived way, or because a lot of people have like preconceived notions about you when you're attractive, and when you don't operate the way you should have operated, they're gonna like trying to fill the void in a way. Oh, maybe he's just doing that for that. Maybe he's just trying to do it to be nice. Maybe he's just doing this to get something out of me. Why is that the case, guys? Am I the only person who's facing this? Really? Is it really the case though? And I'm not trying to be bad. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. Like you guys watch me. Some of you have watched me for a long time on my channel. I'm not a mean person. I think you can see it. I'm not really trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to be condescending in any manner. No. But people are so quick to judge, and they're so quick to just wipe you off the table for no apparent reason, really. And bro, it bothers me. It bothers the fuck out of me, because this is a major flaw that nobody really talks about. And going back to like the single part, why attractive people are single, because this happens a lot. Like a lot of successful men, especially, are single. I think there's obviously the marriage aspect, because a lot of guys don't really want to get married today. And second, I mean, they know that a lot of girls really just want them for their money. Really, straight up. And there's actually something that a lot of these red pill guys miss. And I think some of you who are watching these types of, podcasts, videos, or what have you, when you're watching them, they usually say that women have a lot of options today. And they said, beautiful women have the most options. I wouldn't say that's true. That's not true. Yes, they get a lot of attention from simps and beta males on Instagram, TikTok, Tinder, dating apps, Facebook, what have you. But those are not viable options. Those are not really like the long-term mates that they want. They're just guys that just want to smash. And most of the simps in the comments or in the DMs are usually low-level guys most of the time. So that's why. It's the same thing like when you're I think it's the same thing when you're like a really rich guy. Because deep down, especially like, you can see this quite a lot with celebrities, when they're like very old men, like let's say they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and they have a lot of money, and they usually get like a 20, 30-year-old, I think deep down, subconsciously, they know that that woman right there is just with them for the money. I think they subconsciously know that. Really. Because you're old, I mean, your dick probably doesn't work that well. Okay, it's not activated yet. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, whatever. But you know what I mean, right? I think most people can sense it. Whereas, okay, that took a really unexpected turn. But what I wanted to say is that they don't have options. Those are just beta males for women. And the same thing for guys. When guys have money and they have, when they get a lot of attention from like hookers and a lot of like 304s and a lot of like thoughts, Instagram thoughts. But these are like low-value women. They're not really who you want either way. It's the same thing like when girls approach you as a man. I actually think that's pathetic. I would never want women to approach me that. Because the women that do approach you, and I've seen this from my experience, and I think a lot of you guys can relate to this, the girls that do approach you are usually like a little fucked up in their brain. They're weird. They usually lack thoughts. They're usually very promiscuous, and you don't want them too much. They're usually drunk. They have a lot of bad habits, addictions, and they're not your ideal mates or your ideal partners. Excuse me. I think it's the same thing for women, because I meet so many gorgeous women, and I talk to so many people every day, and I'm like, damn, like why is she single? It looks like she has everything on paper. It's not her personality. Maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe guys are pathetic. Maybe guys are terrified of rejection. I think that probably plays a role here. And I think it's the same thing for guys. Like going back to that Ferrari mentality that Andrew Tate talked about. I think guys operate the same way. When they see a very beautiful chick, like let's say a 9 or a 10, like hot. When they see a woman on that level, I think subconsciously they know that they're going to have to work harder to keep her around. I think guys know that instinctively. You know, she's like a Ferrari, she's like a Lamborghini, a Aventador on paper. You know, smoking hot. She's this and that, you know, it's a status symbol. But she's not going to be reliable like a Toyota, for instance. It's a lot harder to keep a girl like that around. But in my opinion, actually, I would say that from what I've seen, attractive women tend to be more loyal than average-looking chicks. That's just my experience. And I've seen it so many times. I actually think the average-looking chicks, or like average chicks, tend to cheat more than beautiful women. And I think it's the same thing with us guys, with handsome guys. I don't think guys cheat as much as women do in relationships. And even with friends, like let's just look at the friends aspect. I've lost so many friends on my journey because I started my fitness journey 7 years ago. I've uploaded a little video on my channel here. And I've lost so many friends, so many people who I thought were my friends at the time. Once they saw I started being better. And, you know, I wanted the same thing for them. I wanted them to level up as well. But they didn't want to level up. They became stagnant and comfortable. And most of them have not progressed. They're still in the same spot. They still live in the same house. Still make the same kind of income. Still talk about the same old shit like they used to talk about 5-7 years ago. And, you know, it's not your fault, man. It's not your fault. Because if you've been working yourself, because I think most of you who are watching me are hard workers. You're working on yourself. On your looks, your money, your finances, your relationships. And so, it's a pain in the ass, really. It's a struggle that these people can't see past their weaknesses. Because I always used to think that it was a problem with me. But no, it's actually a problem with them. You know? So, you got to find people who are compatible, people who are on your level, people who you can vibe with. And it's difficult. It's really difficult. A lot of you have problems with getting friends too. Especially like if you're in that middle ground, like where I am right now, because you've surpassed your old levels so much. They're all left. You've left them behind, but at the same time, you're not successful enough to be like invited to like the big boys club. You're not really at the big league yet, and so that's like a strange place to be in. You know, it's real strange because you can't really relate to anybody. And I'm trying my best to like talk to people regularly, but I mean, it's a pain in the ass because we have so much jealousy, we have so much hate, so much envy, and so much bitterness from guys, really, and women, but I think it's mostly men who are being so fucking lame and pathetic, and they're being victims of life as to why it's not going for them. And, you know, when they see that you're a good-looking fella and you're taking care of yourself, they think that you're being materialistic, you're being shallow. you're being superficial, that you're brain dead, you're empty, that you don't have any real value to offer. It's just your looks. Like people say, like you can be like a male prostitute or whatever, bro. No, that's not the case. And that's also another big weakness. That's also another big flaw of being attractive, is that people will really just use you for your looks. I meet so many like people that I used to know, like old aunts and old friends from my old town, my old city, and whenever they meet me, they're like, "Oh, you're so good looking, you're this and that." I mean, bro, like just tell me something good, for God's sake. Like you're just flattering me. You're not really telling me any. I already know all of this. Tell me something real. Like enjoy my language skills, for instance. English is not my first language. No, it's actually my third language. As you can probably see, I speak English pretty good. Because it's because of practice. This is not something I was born with. Same thing with, okay, that's a different topic, but people can't really relate to us. We struggle a lot as handsome or attractive people. We do struggle quite a lot. And it's real. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I wish you guys a beautiful, warm, and blissful day. Stay strong. Thanks for all the support.